If your erections aren't as firm as they used to be, if you feel your energy fading faster than it should, and if intimacy has started to feel more like a challenge than a pleasure, not because you've lost interest, but because your body isn't responding, then pay close attention. This might not be just aging. In many cases, the real issue is much simpler and far more fixable. Your body could be silently running short on 3 essential vitamins it needs to function at its best. I'm a men's health doctor from New York with over 30 years of experience helping men over 60 reignite their energy, vitality, and sexual confidence. Here's the truth most physicians don't talk about. Desire often remains strong, but the body falls behind because of reduced blood flow, lower stamina, and weakened hormone support. And the fix? It rarely begins at the pharmacy counter, it starts in your kitchen. Today, I'll reveal the 3 vitamins every man over 60 should focus on, and how they can restore natural erections, raise testosterone levels, and bring back the drive you thought was gone for good. Stick around, because I'll also share the #1 mistake men make when taking these vitamins, and how to avoid it starting tonight. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health insight tailored for men over 60. If what I'm saying speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can make this even more helpful for you. Now, let's start with the first, and one of the most overlooked, keys to restoring your body's performance: vitamin B12. Your body relies on it for healthy red blood cells, strong nerve function, and steady energy. Without enough B12, circulation suffers, fatigue sets in, and your body simply can't sustain the physical response intimacy demands. As you age, your ability to absorb B12 from food drops sharply, which means your energy, stamina, and sexual performance can drop right along with it. For many men, bringing B12 levels back to optimal can feel like flipping the power switch back on, boosting circulation, sharpening focus, and fueling the stamina you need both in daily life and in the bedroom. Here's why it's so critical. 1. Vitamin B12, the power switch for your energy. Not long ago, I met a patient named Thomas, 68 years old, a retired high school teacher, and an avid fisherman. On the surface, he looked like a man enjoying his golden years. But as we talked, I noticed the weight of fatigue in his voice. "Doc," he told me, "I stick to a healthy diet, I get my sleep, but it's like I'm running on half a battery. My mind feels hazy, my body's worn down, and when I'm with my wife, the drive just isn't there anymore." Thomas's situation is one I see all too often in men over 60, a classic case of vitamin B12 deficiency that often slips under the radar. B12 is critical for converting the food you eat into pure, usable energy. Without it, no matter how nutritious your meals are or how much rest you get, your body simply can't turn fuel into power. It's like trying to run a boat without enough gas in the tank. This vitamin also plays a vital role in producing red blood cells, the tiny couriers that transport oxygen to your muscles, your brain, and yes, your sexual organs. When these cells are in short supply, everything slows down, stamina wanes, concentration weakens, and even the activities you once looked forward to can feel like a chore. The challenge is that as you age, your ability to absorb B12 from food drops dramatically. You could be eating steak, eggs, or dairy every week and still fall short. That's why so many older men feel drained, weak, or mentally foggy, even when their basic lab results look perfectly fine. Fortunately, the fix can be simple. Adding a high-quality B12 supplement or getting occasional doctor-administered injections can restore mental clarity, physical energy, and that feeling of truly being awake again. I've seen men go from napping away their afternoons to spending them fishing, laughing, and fully engaging with their families, all because they corrected a deficiency they didn't even realize they had. But restoring energy is only part of the story. Your body also needs protection, something that strengthens blood vessels, reduces inflammation, and supports the hormones that keep you feeling like yourself. That's where the next vitamin comes in. Often called the fertility vitamin, its benefits stretch far beyond reproduction. In fact, without it, your testosterone and circulation may already be slipping away quietly. 2. Vitamin E, the vital protector. A while back, I met Richard, 69 years old, a retired architect who had spent his life building homes and landmarks with precision and care. When he walked into my office, he looked healthy and fit, but there was frustration in his tone. "Doctor," he said, "I eat clean, I stay active, I've followed every health rule in the book, but something's changed. My drive isn't the same, my recovery is slow, and honestly, I just don't feel like myself anymore." Richard's discipline wasn't the problem. He was doing almost everything right, except for one thing that most men, and even many doctors, overlook: vitamin E. This isn't just a supplement for skin or a nutrient for fertility. Vitamin E is a powerhouse for men's health, especially past 60. It's a potent antioxidant, guarding your blood vessels, hormones, and reproductive system against the oxidative stress and inflammation that quietly build up with age. When inflammation takes hold, blood flow weakens, testosterone levels start to slide, and energy dips lower and lower. It's not a sudden collapse, it's a slow erosion of vitality. And without realizing it, men like Richard lose the edge they once took for granted. What makes vitamin E so essential is its ability to keep your blood vessels flexible and your circulation strong. Erections depend on more than just desire, they rely on healthy blood flow. If that flow is restricted, performance inevitably suffers. But there's more. Vitamin E also supports the body's ability to produce testosterone efficiently. After 60, that becomes critical. Low testosterone doesn't just impact the bedroom, it influences mood, motivation, and even a man's sense of identity. The upside? Replenishing vitamin E is simple and natural. Almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and leafy greens like spinach or Swiss chard are excellent sources. And when diet alone isn't enough, a high-quality natural vitamin E supplement can bridge the gap. I've had men like Richard return months later, shaking my hand with a smile, feeling sharper, stronger, and more alive than they had in years. 3. Vitamin D, the ignition for healthy circulation. I'll never forget meeting Michael, a 66-year-old former engineer with a sharp mind and a quiet determination. As we spoke, he leaned forward and said, almost reluctantly, "Doctor, I still want to be close to my wife, but my body just isn't cooperating anymore." That kind of honest admission is one I've heard from countless men over the years. And surprisingly, the path to reigniting that spark often doesn't begin with a prescription or some secret treatment, it starts with vitamin D. Most people think of vitamin D as a sunshine vitamin for strong bones or something children need as they grow. But for men over 60, it's far more than that. Vitamin D plays a direct and powerful role in circulation, helping your blood vessels relax and deliver oxygen-rich blood everywhere it's needed, including to the parts of the body that define your vitality and masculinity. When vitamin D is lacking, blood flow slows, energy fades, and intimacy becomes harder than it should be. The truth is, over 40% of older adults are deficient, and that includes men who eat well, stay active, and still find themselves asking, "Why don't I feel like myself anymore?" One reason is that low vitamin D reduces your body's production of nitric oxide, a molecule essential for both circulation and sexual performance. And this isn't only about intimacy. Poor blood flow can rob you of stamina, focus, and confidence in every part of life. The solution can be refreshingly simple. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight, adding more salmon, tuna, or fortified dairy to your meals, and supplementing with quality vitamin D3 can dramatically change the way your body performs. I've seen men who once struggled to make it around the block rediscover the energy to stay active and the connection to enjoy life with their partners again. This isn't guesswork. This is straightforward biology at work. But as powerful as vitamin D is, it's only part of the equation. Even if your circulation is strong, your body still needs the energy to keep that blood moving, sustain your performance, and turn that vitality into action. That's where the next vitamin comes in, and if you've ever felt drained for no clear reason, it could be the missing key to unlocking the energy you've been searching for. And here's something even more exciting: when these three vitamins are used together, they don't just work individually. They can amplify each other's effects, creating a chain reaction that can transform not only your energy and performance, but your entire experience of aging. Let's take a closer look at how that works. 4. Why these three vitamins work best as a team. Several years back, I worked with a patient named Leonard, 69 years old, a retired Navy officer who took pride in his discipline and sharp mind. He'd been taking vitamin D for circulation, later added B12 to fight off fatigue, and eventually began supplementing with vitamin E after I explained its role in supporting testosterone. But it wasn't until he started taking all three together, consistently and in the right amounts, that the real change happened. One afternoon, Leonard walked into my office with a grin I'll never forget and said, "Doc, I don't know what switch you flipped, but I feel like I've been rebuilt from the inside out." That's the magic of synergy. These vitamins don't just operate in isolation, they work hand in hand, each amplifying the effects of the others. Vitamin D enhances circulation by boosting nitric oxide production. Vitamin B12 ramps up red blood cell creation, ensuring oxygen moves efficiently through that improved circulation. And vitamin E strengthens and protects the blood vessels themselves, while helping regulate testosterone to fuel energy, mood, and drive. Individually, each vitamin plays an important part. But together, they form what I call the vitality triangle: circulation, energy, and hormonal balance working in perfect harmony. This combination becomes even more critical as you get older. Your body no longer rebounds as quickly. Nutrient absorption slows, inflammation builds, recovery stretches out, and missing just one piece can throw your whole system off. But when these three are in balance, your body begins to remember what it's like to run at full capacity. You might notice waking up more refreshed, thinking more clearly, and reacting faster, not just physically, but emotionally as well. Your confidence returns, and that's something no prescription can truly replicate. Leonard's story isn't rare. I've seen the same transformation in countless men who commit to making these vitamins part of their daily routine. But here's the catch: most men never experience these results. Why? Because they make a simple but costly mistake that erases the progress they could be making. And if you're not careful, you could be making it too. Let's break it down. 5. The most common mistake men make. One afternoon, a man named Harold came into my office carrying a reusable shopping bag crammed full of supplement bottles. He was 73, sharp-minded, and clearly committed to taking care of himself. Laying them out on my desk, he said, "Doc, I've been taking all of these for months, but I'm still exhausted, my head's in a fog, and honestly, nothing's improving in the bedroom." I could hear the frustration in his voice, and I've heard it more times than I can count. The truth is, one of the biggest mistakes men over 60 make is believing that simply taking supplements is enough. Many buy the cheapest versions they can find at discount stores or online, assuming all vitamins are created equal. But they're not. The type, quality, and dosage determine whether your body actually absorbs and uses the nutrient or just passes it straight through. Take vitamin B12, for example. Most low-cost brands use cyanocobalamin, a form that many older men can't effectively convert. What you really need is methylcobalamin, the active form your body can put to work immediately. The same rule applies to vitamin D. D2 is inexpensive but far less effective than D3. And with vitamin E, synthetic versions often lack the complete range your body needs to support healthy testosterone levels and strong circulation. Another major error? Inconsistency. Taking a vitamin whenever you remember, once or twice a week, won't deliver lasting results. Your body thrives on steady, reliable support. It takes consistency to rebuild energy, restore blood flow, and balance hormones. This isn't about quick fixes, it's about building a solid daily foundation. When Harold switched to higher quality forms and committed to taking them every single day, the turnaround was remarkable. Within a month, he was sleeping better, waking up with more energy, and, in his own words, feeling like myself again. That transformation didn't come from sheer willpower. It came from doing it right. Now that you understand what works and what sabotages progress, the next step is figuring out how to make this part of your daily routine without overcomplicating things. That's exactly where we're headed next. 6. Your daily vitality routine. When I work with older men, one of the first things they tell me, usually with equal parts hope and hesitation, is, "Doc, just give me something simple I can do every day. I don't need fancy. I just need it to work." I respect that question because, at this stage in life, most men aren't chasing trends or gimmicks. They want something steady, straightforward, a plan that reliably helps them feel strong again. Let me tell you about Martin, a 67-year-old former mechanic who came to me after months of battling low energy, restless nights, and a fading spark in the bedroom. We didn't flip his world upside down. Instead, we built a simple, powerful daily routine around the vitamins we've been discussing, and it made all the difference. Each morning, Martin began his day with a tall glass of water and his B12 supplement, taken alongside a protein-packed breakfast. Right after eating, he went for a 15-minute walk in the morning sun to naturally boost vitamin D. On cloudy days or during winter, he swapped in a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement with his first meal. For vitamin E, a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds did the trick, along with a splash of olive oil over his lunchtime salad. That was it. No complicated steps, no extreme diets, just small, intentional actions repeated every day. Within weeks, Martin told me he had the energy to keep up with his grandkids, a stronger connection with his wife, and a sense of confidence he hadn't felt in years. He didn't feel like a younger man, he felt like the best version of himself right now, steady, capable, and in control. The truth is, you don't need a cabinet full of pills or a strict, exhausting routine. What you need is consistency, the right nutrients in the right forms, and the belief that your health is still in your hands, because it is. And as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last thought, something every man over 60 should hear, but so rarely does. If you've ever wondered whether it's too late to feel strong, wanted, and fully alive again, the truth might surprise you. Let's talk about it. If you're still here with me, I want to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as someone who has spent over 3 decades sitting across from men like you. Men who've worked hard, raised families, built careers, and lived with purpose. Men who now find themselves wondering, why doesn't my body feel the way it used to? That question isn't weakness. It's proof that you're still in the fight, still searching for strength, energy, and connection. And that is something I deeply respect. We've talked about 3 key vitamins: vitamin D, the spark that helps your blood vessels open and restores circulation where it matters most; vitamin B12, the fuel that powers your brain, muscles, and stamina; and vitamin E, the protector that supports testosterone, shields your heart, and keeps your system performing at its best. But here's the truth, knowing their names isn't enough. The real change happens when you make them part of your daily life. These nutrients don't just strengthen your body, they help you reclaim your confidence, your presence in relationships, and that feeling of waking up ready for the day. I've seen it too many times to doubt it. Men who thought their best years were over discover a second wind, and it changes everything. Now the choice is yours. You can set this information aside and carry on as before. Or you can take action. You can give your body what it's been quietly asking for. You can step outside in the morning, take your supplements with intention, and decide to say yes to your health and to your future. Because here's what I know for certain, it's not too late. Not even close. You still have time to grow stronger. You still have time to reconnect. And you still have time to be the man you know yourself to be, fully, confidently, and without apology. You've already taken the first step by being here. Now it's time for the next one. If this message struck a chord with you, helped you, or gave you something to think about, let us know. Click the like button so we know this content is making an impact. Share it with a friend, a brother, or anyone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment below, tell me what resonated most, or suggest a topic you'd like to see next. Your voice helps shape what we create here. If you'd like to support the channel and help us continue making content for men over 60, consider a small contribution. Every bit helps us reach more men with better research, better production, and more life-changing conversations. You're not just watching, you're part of something bigger. And I'm honored to have you here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.